Hey, how's it going? My name's Boston. I run a small upholstery business, which is completely irrelevant for this video because we're building a guitar case. I needed a guitar case, didn't want to buy a guitar case, had things to make a guitar case. Well, let's build a guitar case. First of all, we're getting started cutting the plywood down to a rough length using a handsaw with a table saw as a sawhorse. Started cutting it to length on the table saw when it was all going all over the place, and so I figured I'd just cut it shorter with the handsaw just for an extra workout. Speaking of workout, there's a more fun way to do this, I think. Yeah, no, that actually didn't hurt as much as I made it look, but it definitely didn't do the job. So we'll just get this out of the way. There we go. Just snap that last bit off, because who needs to actually finish sawing it? So I'll just put this to one side if I can get it out. There we go. Get that moved. Right, time to actually use the table saw to cut things, rather than leaning on it to cut with a handsaw. Grab the push stick so that I don't chop my fingers off. Get rid of the handsaw, we don't need that anymore. And what we're going to do is we're going to start chopping this plywood down, well, ripping this plywood down, I think is the right term. I'm not a woodworker, I don't know. And it was 8 centimeters, chopped it 80 millimeters, don't know what it is in inches. Despite using inches as an upholsterer, I'm not, make it clear, I'm not a woodworker. This is just me giving it a go, so there's probably going to be mistakes. Feel free to point them out to me, just be nice, please don't tell me off. Yeah, just move that out of the way, reach for that before I turn the table saw off. There's the first mistake. Well, I say first mistake, probably already been loads of mistakes, but just check the width on that, make sure that it's all, consistent. Can't be too sure, it looks pretty good though. There we go, thumbs up. Move that out of the way. And then just turn that back on. And speed this up so you don't have to watch me cutting plywood in real time. Now over to the chop saw, miter saw. I'm using it to chop. I didn't do any miters on this. Figured it'd be stronger if I just do butt joints. Just laugh at the word butt. So I basically took my 2 lengths of each, the lengths and the ends and sides and ends, whatever, take them together and just cut them at the same time, because I can be bothered measuring more than once. What is it they say? Measure twice, cut once. I got away with it. I just like to blag things. Cut that tape off. Admire that. Just throw it down. Throw that tape on the floor. Because my workshop is a mess, as you can see. I should have probably tidied before filming what I was doing, but I was impatient and just wanted to get on with making stuff. Got it all mocked up. I did check that it was, guitar sized by putting a guitar in there, but I forgot to film it. So just pop in some glue when it comes out. Come on. Yeah, there we go. I'll just spread that with our finger, because who needs fancy glue spreaders? Who needs fancy glue bottles? That's a water bottle that now has glue in it. as you'll see here in a moment, I'm holding this together with glue and brad nails. I have this cheap brad nailer that I forgot to plug in. That always helps. I also then realised there was no nails in it, so we'll do that as well. There we go. So popping those brad nails in. And realise that I'm too far down the table and I can't get all of the nails where I want them to be because the gun is really big and it was really cheap and it's really bad and I do not recommend it. But you know, we live and we learn. The biggest problem is it doesn't drive the nails all the way in, so I always have to come back with the hammer and give it a little tapper, which is fine. It's frustrating, but I get to take that frustration out by hitting it with a hammer. Now I'll just check that it's square, which is probably pointless right now because it's just two bits of wood glued and nailed together, but you know, we'll get it all together, we'll figure out if it's square later. Again. Last end, other end. Make sure that's flush. And then tap it in again because make sure it's actually square. About it, and it's on to cutting faces, the top and bottom. Yeah, I actually found this bit of plywood outside, which is handy because it's massive. I think it was used for shipping something from Turkey. It said it had something on the other side spray painted about Turkey and shipping. So just pop that there, grab that, figure out a rough idea of how long it needs to be. It doesn't matter at this point, and you'll see why soon. And back at it again with the handsaw. I should mention I'd actually put the table saw away at this point because I didn't think I was going to need it again, and I was wrong. It's square again because never be too sure. I was really adamant that I wanted this to be as perfect as I could get it, which is, you know, I feel like we should be like that with everything really, but I think that's pretty square. You know, check it again and again and again. Oh, give it a little tap. Oh, is that square? I think I spent a good 20 minutes making sure that was square. It's probably square. And time for some glue. Back to the finger spreader. Top or bottom. I can't remember which piece that was. Figure out which side I want to use uses the inside or the outside, which again irrelevant because it's going to get covered in some sort of fabric. I suppose we still want a nice side. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I'm completely blank in this. Get this all lined up. Grab the brad nailer, stick some nails in. As you can see, there's quite a lot of overhang. Beat with the hammer. There's a lot of overhang there. Just check that it's square. And what I'm actually going to do is get the handsaw again. Just take that off. Who needs it? We don't. Not for this. It would be a pretty awful case if we left all that hanging off. And then we get started there. And just skip to, it being almost... I've put the other side on, I've trimmed that down at this point. I'm just beating it up with a hammer again just to be sure. Got a bit warm beating it up, so just throw that out of the way. Now it's time for the router. So I've basically trimmed off all of the excess, and now I'm using a flush trim bit to cut it flush with the sides. Done the other side, so it's just a case of finding a round over bit. I think that's the one. Just check it. Yeah, sure. I checked so many things on this just to disregard them later, but I think that's the right size bit. So what's left to do is swap it out. Yeah, it's all swapped out. Let's check the height. Oh yeah, is that gonna be a good round over that height? Oh, a little bit lower. Okay, we're good. Okay, let's go. Nope, no power. I turned the power off to change the bit, didn't I? Okay, now we're good. Let's move. Okay, flip it over. Round over the other side. Sand, everyone's favourite. I did round over the corners as well, but I figured you didn't want to see that. Plus it was sketchy as hell. Give it a little zip with the sander. Get those edges and corners and everything nice and smooth. Or as smooth as you can get with, I think it was an 80 grit disc that I had on there. Now at this point you might be wondering why I've just made a completely closed box when I'm trying to make a guitar case. Well, you're about to find out. Back at the table saw that I had to get back out for this because I'd put it away. It's time to split this baby open. I say split, cut, rip. Use a table saw, put it through. Make it a case instead of a closed box. So just leave that there. Stay. Grab a square. Oh, stay. Okay, I actually saw this on another YouTube video. I watched a YouTube video to see how to do this. They did this I realised I couldn't keep it square and upright on my table saw in my wonky workshop, so I just went for it. Start zipping that through slowly. Try and keep it as steady as possible. Oh yeah, look at that sawdust go. Surprised how straight that actually cut. Let's go. Now cut through the other end, and then check that, looks good. Then go from end to end, hoping that those cuts line up, which I was surprised to find that they did. So then I go find a little bit of scrap wood on the floor to use as a shim, just to keep it open while I go through, because I don't want it binding on the blade. Then I tape it together to hold it together, because I figured if I cut it open it's all just going to split apart and I could lose a hand. So just ripping it from cut to cut, and then cue the excitement. That's that pretty clean looking cut. I reckon that's a fucking case, isn't it? That's the back anyway. Yeah. Fucking done it, mate. Fucking that. That's a case. So this is gonna have to be part 1, because the hardware that I ordered to finish this hasn't actually arrived yet. But if you're interested in seeing this finished, like, share, follow, subscribe, and thanks for watching.